Control there for Oscar Delta unit there for Drumblish Crossroads coming in there, saying possible fatal there of a child.
Possible fatal of a child there.
Roger, just anybody getting there just to confirm. Tractor versus bus, one child dead, one hip injury, a bit much now. Caller has not been to the scene, said she heard this from her house.
Jesus Christ.
In recent years, Ireland has faced complex and difficult issues. Booms, busts and pandemics have changed the social and economic landscape of the country. As society has changed, so too has the challenges of policing and keeping safe its citizens.
That's made up, that's a shed like.
Faced with rising crime rates, resource challenges and changing attitudes towards Gardaí, these are testing times for An Garda Síochána.
There's a positive link for cocaine.
Oh my God, is right. Don't blame your God.
This series goes behind the front desk, inside patrol cars and on the beat in Dundalk, Waterford and Longford, with the women and men working to protect and serve our communities.
Lads, I'm back!
From drug raids to drunk drivers, petty theft to large-scale investigations.
500,000 in cryptocurrency.
Bomb.
Start evacuating.
Jesus, that was mad.
No day is ever the same. It's early morning in Longford town. Garda Louise and Rachel are rushing to a call for a suspected serious road collision with potential fatalities reported at the scene.
We got a call in relation to a traffic accident, a bus and a vehicle. And there was concerns over a 6-month-old child being severely injured, if not possibly dead.
Just to confirm, tractor versus bus, one child dead, one hip injury. Caller has not been to the scene, said she heard this from her house as per ambulance information.
We were the main car for the area that day, and then we had another car from Longford, and all the surrounding stations, the minute they heard that on the radio, they all came out. You're looking at everyone out there that morning and everyone kind of, looking for this incident. You're just thinking you want to get there to help that child. That's all you're thinking at the time. You need to get there, you need to help this child. Immediately, there was nothing there.
Have you used a better location for this? This seems like a hoax.
Just bear in mind units there for this cause, possibly bogus now, possibly bogus. Ambulance are near enough location as well, and they're driving around and no sign of anything there.
We had to make sure that every inch of road was covered just in case they might have got the direction or the location slightly wrong. And when you heard the nature of the call, it's something you're not going to sit around or drive past and go, it's not there, so we had to ensure that it wasn't there. And this is what you're thinking the whole way there, and then you land.
All good, hoax call.
Shocking.
Jesus Christ, you're gonna give me a fucking heart attack.
What a call, like. Very frustrating. So hoax calls are a problem. They're always emergency calls when they do come in. They're taking up all the resources, and if something else happens, we're at another call, whereas someone else might need our help. That's actually a real call instead of a hoax call. We were able to trace back the caller who made that call. She said she had seen something, and then she said she'd heard something. So she said she'd heard a bang, and then we were kind of questioned, but it was, detail within the call, and she just wasn't able to answer those questions then. But in her mind, she thought it had happened.
Oh, fuck's sake. Oh my God, what a start to the morning.
In Dundalk, Louth's Roads Policing Unit are gearing up for a large-scale operation to be conducted across the border region. The main artery between Dublin and Belfast, the M1, and the old Dublin to Belfast road is where the checkpoints are taking place. While they will be carrying out standard checks, the main aim of this operation is to gather intelligence and disrupt the movements of criminal gangs operating along the border.
We all know all the travelling criminals that will use and take advantage of the border for committing crimes like burglaries, etc. Well, they'll cross from one side of the border to the other to avoid detection and also apprehension by the police forces.
The checkpoint on the old Belfast road is being carried out by police from north and south, working side by side.
Hello there, how are you doing? Have we licence on you at all?
The border in itself, with the changes in jurisdictions, once we come to that line, that's where we have to stop, we have to turn around. It does add a level of difficulty in policing.
I'll just do a wee check on the vehicle here and then I'll let you head on, all right?
Slow down, slow down.
A routine check on a vehicle brings some unexpected and useful information to light for the team operating the checkpoint.
We've been stopped for a number of different offences, okay, and one of them has been ammunition for firearms, okay, so I'm going to invoke a search under the vehicle, okay. There was ammunition found on his person going back a couple of years ago. Anything on your person that there shouldn't be? Okay. And there's obviously drug offences as well, so you know, we obviously have to monitor whether he's still involved in that kind of activity. I'm not satisfied you have insurance. So under Section 41 of the Road Traffic Act 1961 now, I'm going to seize the vehicle on suspicion of no insurance, okay? The bread and butter offence is obviously the no insurance. We wanted to deny people who are involved in criminal activity the use of the roads. It's one of our mandates in roads policing, so this is a good detection in relation to that as part of this cross-border operation.
That's us working all weekend now.
Yeah, so are we, yeah.
Hello, how are you? You got the wee licence on you at all?
Just show me the discs you have there. So your taxes expired October last year. Your NCT has expired November last year, and your insurance is shown expired May last year. So you are going to be receiving a fixed penalty notice.
As the cross-border checkpoint continues, a van brought off the motorway reveals a possible lethal discovery.
Come on, will you step out?
I will do.
Please, God.
On opening the rear of the van, we discovered a third passenger sitting in the rear in a deck chair.
I needn't say how dangerous and stupid that is. This wee baby, what age is this wee baby?
He's 2.
He's 2 as well.
That's madness. It's madness. Obviously, you can't go any further in that seat. It's a fucking deck. You know you're sitting on a deck chair in the back of a van surrounded by heavy machinery. His response was he was holding on tight, which fair play to his efforts, but it's not really going to make a difference in a collision. So, because if you crash or hit a wall or swerve off the road and he comes through, he's sitting behind that young fella. And I'm saying this as one father to another. That young fella then goes through that windscreen. Like, in the name of Jesus Christ, a deck chair. You're going to get a ticket for that, all right? That's very serious. It's checkpoints like this that allow us to spot things like that, because he'll effectively become a missile in a crash, and holding onto the chair tightly is not going to do anything in that situation. So, an education all around, yeah?
Hello, sir, how you doing?
Standard checks are the bedrock of these operations, but the bigger game at play is tracking cross-border crime, a constant challenge for both the PSNI and An Garda Síochána.
You're getting obviously organised crime gangs that would be shipping drugs across the border or cash. If we can get the message across that there's plenty of resources on the roads, you know, hopefully it's a deterrent for the likes of these people. Up Tango 522, any units there down towards the Carrickdale, there's an Audi A4, yellow reg, after doing a U-turn from us there, he's heading down towards you.
211, just here there.
So you observed a black Audi turn back from the checkpoint, but thankfully we have an unmarked car further down the road.
X-ray 1, did we get a motorbike on that Audi Tom was calling out there? So that vehicle had a warning on it on the PSNI system. The car is associated with the gang. It's a certain family that will be well known. It'll be well known both north and south of the border, and being involved in the drugs trade. Just use caution there, that motorcycle unit. Just update us there that everything's all right. obviously your caution levels have to rise. That particular gang will be well known for serious violence, serious violence. That we brought it in here, it turns out that the owner and the driver of the car is a partner of one of the criminals involved with that guy, a high-ranking criminal involved in that gang.
Is the boot open, is it? Or just...
This is where we monitor them. We have to keep monitoring them. We have to show them that we are monitoring them also, that we are aware of their movements.
Where are you coming from as a matter of interest?
North.
You're coming from north, heading to...
The south.
All right.
It shows that we are monitoring them. I mean, and that's what we do. We monitor them. It's the small little things can lead to the big things at the end of the day. So small bits of intelligence gathering can create pictures that can lead to other things.
Although nothing incriminating is found in the car, these operations are a vital tool for Gardaí to gather information and keep pressure on organised crime gangs in the border region. Nestled on the shores of Carlingford Lough and just a few miles south of the border is the picturesque town of Carlingford. Work for the Gardaí stationed here unfolds at a gentler pace.
I enjoy meeting strangers to the town, making them feel welcome, because sometimes you go to foreign countries, the police are nearly standoffish, as if, you know, and I think it's very important we're friendly, and I think as Irish people we are generally friendly, so that's the part of the job I like, the tour guide, telling people where the toilet is or where the mountain is, the highest mountain in County Louth behind us, Slieve Foy. It's a beautiful part of the world. It reminds me very much like home, like Donegal, the mountains and the seas. I started in 1989 in a little place called Hackballs Cross, and then I moved into Dundalk and spent 5 years there, and became a detective for another 6. And then I done 9 years working with young people as a juvenile officer. And I ended up going to Drogheda in the middle of the feud and really enjoyed that. But then I came back here, a position came available in Carlingford. And I live kind of locally in that, and I do a wee bit of sheep farming and that, so it was very handy for keeping an eye on the stock. So no other farmer would take me sheep. Hi, Paul. We're really community policemen and women out here, funerals and that, and how people really appreciate the guards stopping traffic for their loved one going by or coming out of a junction. Very simple thing in that. And we're here kind of to serve people, but we also have to deal with the nasty stuff that happens, the assaults, maybe the dangerous driving, causing accidents, breaking into houses.
Despite a slower pace of life here, crime is still a problem, with burglaries on rural houses in the area a particular cause for concern.
Last June we had 4 houses done, and this was on the Saturday evening when the elderly people were at Mass, and there was another 3 houses attempted. That's all in the space of less than an hour.
Yeah.
And all elderly people, which is tough.
It affects them hugely, sure. Like, you have a lot of people that live in rural in the countryside, you don't feel like they're safe in their own homes anymore.
So we'd be very proactive in getting out and being seen out on the ground, and being high visibility is a huge thing that deters these.
To help combat the concerns of the older people living in rural Carlingford, Operation Cara was set up to help those deemed vulnerable living in the community.
When we went to set up the Operation Cara a few years ago, I basically went to Steffi, and he was the one who was able to tell me who was vulnerable, who was living on their own in the area. So he gave me a kind of list of people, and I started calling to them, and been calling them for the last, I suppose, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Local resident Steffi was a driving force behind setting up Operation Cara.
An Garda Síochána.
How you doing,
Steffi? How are we doing?
Oh, struggling the same as how he is coming in.
Well, how are we going to do, yeah?
How's the stock?
How's things, Steffi? Not too bad. No, I ran out of tea bags recently, but tea leaves.
Oh, there's tea bags there, John.
Do you want tea bags? Or what do you want? I'm 16 years here altogether. I spent the first 4 years in Dundalk, and I've been out here for the last 12 years.
Steffi, you not having a cup of tea?
I'm after having my coffee.
Sure, don't be forgetting the biscuits.
Throwing the biscuits. Oh, can't forget them. I love the part of the job, like the community side of the job, and actually being able to go out and do stuff for people, rather than just reacting to them when they're at their worst.
But these lads coming in and out, and since this did start, and especially during COVID, John, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
When Kevin comes in, well, there's things I would talk to Kevin that I wouldn't talk to my own family about.
Yeah.
But that's when you build up that relationship.
A wee bit of trust as well.
And you know that he talks to you not as a guard, you know,
as a human.
Out here, most of the people would know you. You're calling the people, you're doing the operation cars, you have time to do the property market and do the good side of the job. No, as you know, there was a burglary over in Piedmont there.
Right.
So we were just wondering how are you feeling, like...
As you know, I have burglar alarms, there's 4 or 5 cameras outside, you know, so what else is there?
Yeah. For people to know their local guard and be able to call up them and know that they know the problems that are going on with them, like, I think is a huge thing. Like. So, enjoy it out here, I have to say. Really like it.
You can see where he hits the tree.
Okay.
He's done a load of times.
Oh, fuck.
You got a phone one with suicide watch here with a female that's trying to jump in.
This is the second one he's done in the last hour.
In the last hour? Oh, Lord. There's a few on board.
In rural Longford, as part of the National Lifesaver Project, members of the Roads Policing Unit are in Moyes Community School to give a presentation on road safety education to students who are old enough to start driving.
So our skill set is dealing with trauma out on the roads. That's our skill set, that's our background, that's our job.
The Gardaí want to impress on the students the harsh realities of what being involved in any kind of road accident might have on victims and their families.
Our goal is not to upset anybody. Our goal is to help you. We're not going to teach you anything that you don't know already. Does it matter to you the amount of people who are killed so far this year? To your life, in your circle of friends? If you're honest.
But you don't think about it.
That's the answer. We don't think about it. Doesn't matter. We like to think that it does, and it's really, really sad. Until that knock on the door at 2 o'clock on a lovely Friday afternoon. Then it matters.
You know when you're knocking on that door that the next words out of your mouth are going to change someone's life forever. It's hard, and there's days like today where it kind of brings you back. Any of us guards here today, we've all been out in multiple crash scenes, and they're not pretty, and they're not, you know, it's carnage is the only word really you can describe. But the one thing we do when we go out there is we hope we can hear people talking, people screaming, people crying, because we know then that someone is alive, that we can help them. It's the crash scene you go out to where it's silence. They're the ones you get really worried about, okay? And they're the ones you kind of don't want to be at.
We're doing everything within our power to get through to you. There is no rewind button. Be under no illusions, there is no rewind button. It's horrendous. I really wish I was better at my job. Somebody in the next couple of days will be planning a funeral. They'll be planning a funeral that they never thought in their wildest nightmares, not dreams, nightmares, thought that they would be planning. Road safety is about an attitude. It's not about guards catching you or penalty points. It's about you, the people that you love, and the people that love you. The 5 families that I've called to and knocked on their door, it is by a country mile the worst thing that we'll ever have to do. And each experience is very different. And each experience is equally as devastating. It's like a bomb, and you're handing it over to this unsuspecting mother, father, brother, sister, and you are basically destroying their life. We have an incredible privilege in doing what we do, but that is definitely, by a country mile, the hardest thing that any of us has to do. And we'll do everything in our power to minimize that and to do that as less and less and less as we can, because it does scare you, and it scares you after.
We're heading to a single vehicle road traffic collision. A single male driver,
He is conscious of breathing. I think fire brigade in attendance and ambulance just after arriving.
People's cars nowadays, fast vehicles, unfortunately there is an element in society that want to push the car to the limits. There seems to be a level of aggression, and I hear this as well from my colleagues in the road policing units. There seems to be, road rage incidents. People always seem to be in a rush to get somewhere. Give yourself 5 or 10 more minutes extra time, you'll get there.
He's travelling inwards from town. You can see where he hit the tree.
Okay.
Spun a load of times.
Oh, fuck.
Didn't hit anyone else, no one else in the car. And
Is there any head injuries?
cut to the face, but
Yeah.
car's well damaged, so.
We know who he is.
People need to take into account their own actions, their own responsibilities. To get behind a vehicle, a ton weight that can travel 160, 180 kilometres an hour, with drink in your system, with drugs in your system, is absolutely ludicrous. A lot of it is personal responsibility.
In recent years, there's been an exponential rise in calls for incidents involving people with mental health issues. Operators in the Communications Control Centre in Waterford are dealing with multiples of these calls on a daily basis.
So his initial caller, as he called himself, he's taken tablets and has alcohol. Also claims to have a knife. He says there's no one else in the house with him. I have an air code if you need it.
There isn't a day goes by that we don't have 2 or 3 people in on mental health issues alone.
Your mother is outside, is it? And you said she has mental health issues. Has she been diagnosed with mental health issues?
It's something that we deal with every single day now. And it's sad to say this, and I really regret saying this, but it's almost a bread and butter thing at the moment. It's so prevalent. And it's scary. It really is.
Don't apologise. I understand you're stressed. There's no need to apologise. If she comes back, give me a call back on 999 so that I can update the call and let the Gardaí know where she is.
It's really hard to deal with, you know what I mean? Because our powers are limited. You don't want to be arresting that person if they're sick.
Control to Whiskey Alpha 130, Whiskey Alpha 130. He's just calling for an update from scene.
If we're concerned about someone's mental health, we have a power where we can detain them, bring them to the station, and we'll get a doctor to assess them.
I suppose we're taking up the slack for the fact that possibly the lack of resources in the health service.
We'll get someone out to have a check on you and see what's going on. I'm sending them to you. Okay?
I would always say we're the service that are the ones that work past 9 to 5, and we have taken on the role of mental health, of counsellor, of everything like that, because when everybody else has gone home, we're always the first port of call.
And that kind of stress, trying to look after the welfare of the person that's in custody, is becoming very hard.
And that was at 6:25.
It's the same faces over and over again. And it can be a hard part of the job as well, seeing someone so low.
Yeah, phone one.
Go ahead.
So I called Walter for fortune to key across the Tracy's Hotel. There's a couple people that are local suicide watch there with a female that's trying to jump in.
Garda Aoife and Lorraine rushed to the quays in Waterford City as a local suicide watch group have become concerned about a young person's welfare.
Well, how are you?
Hey, how are you? Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Hello, how are you? We meet again.
Oh, we're back again.
How are you? What's happening?
How are you keeping?
Do you remember me from last week? And Lorraine? The same too. What's going on tonight?
Well, what happened?
So she presented it to us. We brought her to the base. We were talking to her, putting on the road with her, and then she told us that she had a little blade. We took the blade off. That's gone, right? She has medication with her, but there's another little bag inside her purse, so she's accumulating.
Oh, okay. How was everything after last week? Good, yeah. Come here, what were you saying to the lads here tonight? Were you saying you were going to hurt yourself?
No, she did trip over the rail a bit.
Because I all sit there, you can leave to ask anyone the same. I all sit down there.
Yeah, but would you agree that it does look concerning when someone's sitting on the railing by themselves? You can't sit on the quay tonight. Okay. Come on, we'll go back to the station. You ready? Well, you have no choice, unfortunately, like last week.
But I haven't done nothing.
I know you haven't done nothing, but you're not safe to be here, all right, so I'm going to bring you back. It's okay, come on, you can come with us. We'll be grand. Now, will you just take your hands out of your pockets? I just have to give you a kickstart before you go in the car, okay? Will you hand me what's in your hand? You'll have to hand me what's in your hand. Okay, will you hand them to me, please? Will you just grab her other hand there? Yeah. She just has a bag of pills. Now. Okay, open the hand.
What do you have in your hand? Yeah.
Right,
good woman. Now, hop into the car.
Lads, just before I speak about the match, you're well aware, bank holiday weekend in Dundalk. There's big crowds around. It is going to be busy. Obviously, priority first is the match at Oriel Park. Following that, we may have to redeploy members down to the town centre. It's anticipated between 1,500 to 1,800 people will be making their way to the game tonight.
You've all done this before. Our presence here tonight is really to facilitate people going to the game, enjoying themselves, everybody goes home safe.
Dundalk on a bank holiday weekend is a busy, busy town. It's non-stop, it's call to call.
Deemed a high-category match, the local derby in Oriel Park requires a large Garda presence. Add to that, a festival is also taking place in the town. Resources are stretched for the Gardaí of Dundalk. This is not ideal for a bank holiday weekend when there are an increased number of calls from the public, along with a very busy town to contend with.
There may be times we have a match on, we have a busy weekend, we have a number of events on. So in the likes of that, you'll need to pull all your resources in as best you can. It may be a case that you might have to bring in other members as well from outside stations. But thankfully, we're usually able to do it.
Roger, 39 to domestic 32 to the UT, Roger.
It's not long before James is responding to his first call.
We were made aware by a member of the public that there was an altercation, there was a fight between a male and a female. I saw a man punch a female, so obviously, acting on that male was arrested.
Why are you arresting him?
Stop shouting in my face.
Why are you arresting him? Why are you out? Get the fuck out of my
Okay, so there's people calling that you were trying to strike her. So initially, the male was arrested. Of course, he was given out. Why was he being arrested? It was explained to him that he was being arrested on, suspicion of an assault, and there was public order offences, which would mean, a level of intoxication, and that the female partner became quite aggressive towards myself and the inspector, actually resulting in her arrest.
Watch him! Watch him! Fucking watch him! Watch him! Absolutely nothing to do. That's pure nothing to do.
In the back of this for me, all right? You're threatening members of the public here, okay? And you're intoxicated.
Get me up! This is a pure fucking sin. Get me up! Get me up!
And you go.
Number 17, Owen Kenny!
At the match, both sets of fans have taken to lighting flares in the stands.
One side, the supporters lit a couple of flares. I understand, people enjoy them. There's heightened levels of excitement. These can cause serious problems for people. The injuries that a flare can cause to a person can be astronomical.
While the game continues, a unit patrolling the town is called to a serious incident involving a taxi driver who has been threatened with a knife.
You have a spin by 5 Dundalk cabs there. All of us looking for Garda assistance.
Roger, 5.
Unfortunately, we are seeing an increase in people carrying weapons, be it a knife, be it a bat of some sort.
We eventually got them out of the car.
Right.
One of them had a knife.
Right.
And he said he slipped in the driver's throat.
Right.
And then they headed over towards the pubs. Is the driver about at all?
That's him over there.
How you doing, sir? Come here. There were some serious allegations made by your man in there. Were they armed?
Fell in the front, had a knife on him.
And did you see it?
I did.
Did he, like, make threats?
He was going to cut me throat.
Right.
They were full of drink.
Yeah.
The fella in the front said he wasn't getting out of the car. He was
Sure.
going to sleep in the car.
Yeah. But they left eventually. Like.
They were here for about 10 minutes.
We're going to spin around, and I'm
Right.
going to alert all the other cars.
I'd hate to see it get into another taxi. I'm too old for this job.
With no sign of the assailants, a call is put out to all Gardaí to be on the lookout for them.
Papa Bravo 101 to all units there. KLO for 2 meals. One of them has possibly a knife on board, and they're wearing beanies. All units. KLO, stop and search. It's just not something I ever would have came across when I was younger, like up in Donegal. When I was growing up, things would have been perfectly safe. And, Jesus, never would have heard of anybody carrying knives. I don't understand why people carry knives myself. I can't fathom it. Sadly, it's getting more popular. Fairly got my eyes opened when he came to Dundalk, anyway. I'll ask these monsters. No problem at all.
As the evening winds down, the couple arrested earlier are being processed back at the station.
Kids.
Take your fingerprint.
That's what I'm asking. We can bring the kids.
And if you
I don't have code.
18, the written consent of your parent guardian, take them body examples if you've been arrested.
We run this up in my this up. How much just up it is? Just want to go home. I don't want to be somewhere else. So sure, you go home, child. Nobody's what are they doing?
Oh, it's been explained to you already. You're listed for public order, all right? Yeah, you take off the jumper.
Jump on the shoes there as well.
I have kids at home. So when they fucking, when they were from home, I went to be there. You don't understand that. Because you think, oh, we're going to be there. Like, you think when you go home now, your kids are going to be there and going to give you a big hug. My daughter thinks that as well. But you don't think that. On cell, I don't know, anymore.
A busy bank holiday night comes to a close with no major concerns for the Gardaí of Dundalk. It's Tuesday evening in Longford town, and Gardaí Keith and Anna have been called to a shoplifting incident in a local supermarket.
Myself and Keith were called to the shopping centre where there was reports of several bottles of alcohol being stolen. So what is it now, shoplifter?
Shoplifter detained.
Oh, right. Okay.
I think he tried to steal alcohol or something. The shoplifting is a big issue. It's a big issue everywhere, not just in Longford, in every large town.
Oscar Echo 101 to control. You can put us that scene there.
A lot of the time, too, it's alcohol. It's desperation. They don't have the funds to fund their habit.
That's him in there.
Coming in, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's him.
Oh, Lord. He's a few on board. He'll be arrested and brought back to the station, all right?
Okay, sir.
When we got there, he was already a bit worse for wear himself. He had sampled 1 or 2 himself earlier in the day.
Your ID on you today? Your ID? No?
No.
No ID.
No?
You're being taken back to the station. You're now under arrest on suspicion of stealing bottles of alcohol, okay? All right. He was very compliant, which made our job that bit easier in dealing with him.
You're not going to cause us any trouble, no?
No.
No handcuffs?
No, okay.
Go. He was a kind of a model prisoner in one sense. There was no arguing. He admitted his offence immediately, and he was brought back to the station. No, we leave these here, okay? So he'll give you them all back when you're going home, but just for now, we have to keep them here. All right?
Oh, I'm big.
We'll mind them in there. We have a locker here. Grab a seat, because you're a bit unsteady.
There's not a shift that goes by that there's a call for a theft in some shape or form. I always try and factor the addiction side of things. I do have some level of empathy for them, but as I said, at the same time, you know, we're there to enforce the law, and unfortunately, they're committing an offence.
Just need to do the data protection.
It's very sad, like, the addiction forces him to do this because he obviously runs out of money, and he ends up back here again. We'll probably see him or the likes of him again in the near future.
Hey! I'm an assistant. I hang on a second.
This is the last warning you're going to get.
Listen to me. Start moving now.
I'll move.
You're not moving. All right? Start moving.
Late at night in Longford town, Keith, Anna and Garda trainee Leon have been called to a disturbance in a housing estate on the edge of town.
So myself and Keith received a call of a suspicious vehicle in an estate. It was the early hours of the morning, so there was 2 males supposedly on board.
An individual who lives in the housing estate called the guards, so somebody was obviously keeping him or her awake. And when we got there, there was a car. I went to the driver's side. My colleague Anna went to the passenger side of the car. What's the story, boys?
Oh, fine,
Hello there.
Your buddy. What's the story?
How are you?
What's happening?
Have you got your driver's license on you?
If you see a vehicle in the early hours of the morning and, you know, you've neighbours ringing in that are that bit apprehensive, you're kind of already thinking to yourself, well, what reason have they to be out so late at night causing that bit of a disturbance?
So what's happening?
Step out of the car.
We're asking you to step out, all right?
All right.
Yeah.
I was sitting in the car, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what did I do wrong?
Vehicle has no tax, no insurance, no NCT.
How do you know?
Because I'm looking at the window.
Oh, yeah, so I'm supposed to provide everything for you, yeah?
Okay, very simple.
Yeah, yeah.
We're seizing that vehicle.
What are you seizing?
Are you going to let me explain? I'm seizing that vehicle under Section 41 of the Road Traffic Act on suspicion that it has no tax, no NCT.
Suspicions? Only, yeah?
Yeah. He was intoxicated. He was a little bit aggressive at the start, and then that spiraled a little bit. He got more aggressive.
I don't like you. I don't like you.
Listen to me.
I look at her.
Yeah, you look at her, but listen to me.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to give you a second piece of advice.
Warning?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
So, listening.
You listening?
Yeah.
Under Section 8 of the Public Order Act, I'm directing you to leave the area. All right? If you fail to leave the area, you will be arrested. I've given you direction.
Yeah, okay, I understand.
Start moving. Listen to me. Start moving now.
Moving, I'm moving.
You're not moving. All right? Start moving. I had given him a couple of directions to leave the area, and I knew pretty quickly, definitely after the first one, this guy isn't going. But I gave him his direction, and then he stepped into my space, and unfortunately he crossed the line then, and he had to be arrested, yeah. Listen to me, pal. All right, we've given you your opportunity. You're intoxicated. You're now arrested under the public order. All right, listen to me. You're arrested under the Public Order Act, all right? You're not obliged to say anything unless you wish to do so. But anything you do say will be...
I said nothing. What did I say?
You didn't move. End of. I've given you an opportunity.
I move away.
Oh, my God, that's right. Don't blame your God. Hey.
Yes.
Leon, hop in here with him, yeah?
Having been quiet and compliant throughout their interaction with them, Keith is happy to send the passenger on his way.
You need to go home, pal.
Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah.
He wasn't the worst person to deal with. You know, he was very compliant, he cooperated well with us, and he actually lived in the estate, so he wasn't that far away from home.
The Gardaí head back to the station to process the owner of the car, and it soon becomes clear he's not happy with how his night has played out.
What is wrong with you? Yeah?
Listen to me, cool the jets now.
Yeah.
Cool the jets.
What do you mean? What do you want from me?
Cool the jets. The call that came in. You have somebody there, they're working in the morning. They're living in a nice estate. They don't need somebody at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning blaring music out of a car, drinking. There's loads of places to drink. The other individual only lived around the corner. I don't know what was stopping them sitting in his sitting room and having a drink.
What did I do to you? Did I do to you? To you?
Hold on, just give me his hands. Give me his hands.
Oh, wow, break the hands, yeah.
Do you want me to put the handcuffs to the front?
You can fuck off with this shit.
Do you want to move them or not?
What do you want? I want. please.
He was quite difficult, just asking him basic questions, just in relation to details for the member in charge back at the station. Didn't want to comply with us, didn't want to help us at all, was just putting it up to us the whole time, just didn't have any interest in dealing with us.
I'm just gonna station careful, yeah, what you gonna do? You gonna molest me? What you gonna do? What you gonna fucking fuck me? What you going to do? What the fuck you going to do? What you going to do? Let's see, let's try. Let's see what you're going to do. Yeah, okay, let's go.
Hey, relax. I'm glad in the other sense that they didn't try to deal with themselves, because people do that. They leave their house to go out to confront these individuals, and then you're dealing with a whole different scenario then.
It's Easter Sunday morning in sunny Carlingford, and for the Gardaí of this small regional station, it's one of the most challenging days of the year. An influx of young revellers are expected from across the border, so extra Gardaí have to be drafted in from neighbouring stations to help out.
Back years ago, Easter Sunday's traditionally there'd be Republican marches and commemorations, and probably a lead on from that was come south down, no police, no RUC, go for the few pints and sing the rebels, so, you know. Yeah. But it's kind of transferred it now that it's younger people do it.
Younger people are doing it, yeah.
It's not like a set event as such, but we place it like it is an event because we've learned through the number of years that you get 50, 60, 100, 200 young people full of drink. It nearly shuts down the village. Yeah. 2 years ago with a couple of nasty assaults in a pub.
Yeah. It may have started off as something, but now it's just kind of a...
Yeah, it's an excuse, Easter Sunday in Carlingford.
Before the town gets busy, Sergeant John Brady briefs the members who have come from across the region to help for the day.
We're dealing with young people here today. We're dealing with young people come from a different jurisdiction, probably have a different attitude to their own policing than they'd see down here. But what I would ask, respect for everybody's human rights, our service to the community. We give a caring approach, show that today. By 6, 7 o'clock, there's a good chance a lot of these people are actually had enough. They're messy. The pubs don't want them. When they're in the pubs, they're not our problem. But when they're turfed out on the road, they are our problem. And again, folks, it could be your younger brother or sister, first time out. There will be no tolerance of any antisocial behaviour or public drunkenness today. What are you looking forward to today in the village?
We won't be here.
Why is that?
And this is a town.
Oh.
4 towns in County Louth. Did you not know that?
Just like your mother. I heard that from your mother. I heard that from your mother.
I don't know where you were educated.
Donegal town.
Hello! What's the crack? You just turn that way, right? What is that?
It's my wife. Bring your wife to work day. I'm the only man in the country that could say he pepper sprayed his wife. Some fella kicked off one day, big lump fella. He went to kick off one day and I went to pepper spray him and she went to jump in as I went to pepper spray him.
And I still married him, huh?
Buses packed with young people are instructed to park on the outskirts of the town, so the Gardaí can confiscate any alcohol ahead of the pub's opening.
Sorry, excuse me, flap jacket.
Yeah, a little bit, lads. Have a long enough day.
Cheers.
Hello, how you doing? This must be a record. So you're all points past. County... Anyway, she's not been Crow Park today.
Yeah, but we're still going to support them.
I hope Donegal wins, though.
No. See you later. Bye.
Approaching midday and Carlingford is getting busy as the visitors patiently wait for the pubs to open.
Here, tell me us here. You're too good looking to be a guard.
Oh my God.
You know you are.
What age are you?
25.
25.
I'm 25. What ways do you think I am? Don't need to be asking me for my ID. Trying to arrest me and stuff.
Don't you flatter yourself. Not a hope.
With the celebrations kicking off indoors, there's some downtime ahead of what is expected to be a very busy afternoon.
No, they're going to just pass the net. You can start to get a wee bit friendly there.
assistance down outside Feely's too. Who broke the bin?
I didn't break the bin.
You did break the bin, it's broken.
The bin was broke.
This is the last one you're going to get. Yeah?
Pick up all, you see all that rubbish that fell out of the bin when you kicked it? Will you pick it up and put it back in the bin?
Well,
Now.
right now.
Right now, yeah.
With the day going off without any major incidents and the town starting to quieten down, John can reflect on a successful operation for him and the team.
I asked every one of them lads Easter Sunday, would they leave this day free? And every one of them did, and that's the buy-in.
It's okay. You're my favourite.
We'd no rest. That's a sign of how the policing plan worked. I'll be honest, I work with good people, and once you work with good people, you can trust. That's all that matters. The bike's a great job.
Yeah, it's fast.
It is a great job. Whose keys?
You.
For the women and men protecting and serving our communities, these are testing times. With ever-changing challenges and increased pressures, no 2 days are ever the same for those that choose to do it.
It's definitely a challenging job.
Gardaí, search warrant.
Just you. Poor wee baby's not happy. You know, I suppose we all give out about it a bit. I'm not going to get a job like it, I suppose. Probably not qualified to do anything else at this stage.
Sometimes you could be walking down the street and you're just getting abused for no reason.
Very much.
Thanks.
Which I don't think is right, like, because at the end of the day, we are human, like, and it's just a job that we're doing. We shouldn't be taking abuse for no reason either.
Stop, car. Who are you? Who are you?
Member of An Garda Síochána.
I would find it's much harder when we deal with a public order incident.
You are a rat.
Where previously we would have probably maybe dealt with a more compliant society. It's certainly not there now.
Come on, Giuseppe, yeah.
It's difficult knowing that there's some people that just cannot stand you, cannot stand to even see you about because they just hate guards. I've never been in a job before where, you know, there's people that just hate you.
At the end of the day, if you're looking for help, like, who are you going to call? We're going to be the ones there. And you could have been the one abusing us at the side of the road the week before, and we have to put that to the back of our minds. And when you need the help, we're going to be the ones there.
I'm going to give you a lift. All right? Because just in case you get hurt or whatever.
You could go into work and you just don't know what's waiting for you. It's always something different.
Oh, lovely.
There'll be days where you say, Jesus, what was I at? I should have been, I don't know, working in an office or whatever, but no, not too many.
I joined because I wanted to help people. A lot of people talk about how the country's on a downward slope or whatever, but I don't see it like that. I just see it like people need help, and this is my way of helping, is how I look at it.